What makes a good creative, or what makes a good designer? Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the first episode of the Diary of Designers. And today we'll be discussing what makes a good creative or what makes a good designer. To begin, we are going to start by talking about our own personal experiences as graphic designers and what we had to do to get better at what we do and what we had to do to improve, and every step that we took that brought us to where we are right now as good designers. So, Dr. Paul, carry on.
Yes. So, this life is an amazing place.
Very amazing.
Yes, and talking about what makes a good designer, I think there's a lot of things that makes a good designer. But you can actually not become a good designer if you don't start designing.
Definitely.
So that is why, I will say that maybe a brief of a story might help. So started the design journey. I started designing when I was in the university. Oh no, before I got to university, I think I started designing. I think I followed my mom to the
Yeah,
place she
your one is
does.
a graphic
Yeah,
designer.
yeah, yeah. She does designs too.
Your
Yeah,
own is inherited.
yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't know, Let's truth. So, I saw one guy, his name is Richard or Richie. He's very good. He's a very good designer. He designed like Oyibo people then in the north. He's one of those designers that were like his designs are the best. And because they like UTC, like those very busy marketplace, those people that design spontaneously on the spot, they are not here to look for ideas. Today when I say somebody, I'm looking for ideas, I'm looking for I want inspiration. Exactly.
Those days they didn't
Those
have
days, you
interest.
don't have time
They
for
have
the
Behance.
inspiration. You don't like when do you get inspiration from? So, but this guy is able to generate things. In fact, the guy is so good that he designs Ankara.
For the printing.
Yes, for printing, like Ankara materials, Ankara labels. Like he's that good. Like his magazine game was hot. And then remember those days were the days of CorelDRAW. Like CorelDRAW was the hit of the moment, but he was also doing Photoshop. So Photoshop 7.0, I get. This art Photoshop that has a big eyeglass.
Oh yeah, that was like 6.0 to 7.0.
Yeah. So the Photoshop, like the guy was, magical. So when I watched him, I was like, I'm not this guy, what's going on, So I think I pictured him, I liked what he was doing. So my mom's office got them a laptop, office laptop. So already, that's the only thing I know I want to jump on to start designing. And so the first design I did, my mother laughed and laughed. She said it looks like a invitation of Abuki's wedding. It was the pink and green, hot pink, and flowers everywhere. But what I now started doing was I now started experimenting with other designs around. So he told me if I pick this design, I should try and replicate it. So there was no like a tutorial. So I basically have to use my head to figure out, okay, this is a rectangle curved this way. Okay, I'll go for rectangle. I'm now gonna ask that guy, how do they curve this rectangle? So that was how I was doing it, till I got back to school. And university days, I had my roommate then that had a laptop, Franklin. I was using his laptop to do a whole lot of other things. And when he goes back, when we go for holiday, it's over. All right.
You wait till
We have
whenever
to
you
wait
come
till
back.
when holiday comes back before you start designing again. Which was a wonderful experience, But I think that's how the journey started. There's a lot of things that happened on the way, but I mean, this is just like
The foundation.
a foundation of how I saw, how I picked up, design tool the first time. Before I even knew what was tutorial. So the guy that gave me tutorial, blessed memory, great, is late now. He gave me my first Photoshop tutorials in a folder. Like that folder, I cherish that folder, right, with all my life. Like
I feel like we
moved
all
one
had that
laptop.
folder.
Yeah, from one laptop to another, I was moving that folder. Nothing can happen.
We all
to
had that folder.
The tools, the principles, the the first lessons, there's a way I see these things, right? When it comes to design, by the time you get to, by the time you start getting better, by the time you start getting a lot of demands, right? It will tell on you that, wow, you've really not understood how to make use of a pen tool. And if you are not good at that point, what happens is that you spend longer time, all right, trying to deliver a very simple task. Now, what makes a designer, like I said, those basics. Now, if you master those basics, there's a way I learn, right? I'm not a fast learner, like most of them. but this is what I know. I take my time, right, to master the tiniest of things. Because if you master the tiniest of things, you can only that skill alone can help you generate 5 to 10 different other things that your mind have never even comprehended. So there was a time I was learning how to make spirals on Illustrator, like how to make, spirals, some abstract shapes like that. You open my eye to see some, effects that nobody have ever used, right? Some things that I've never used and all that. But what brought me there was I wanted to draw a star that would be in a circle form, right? So I saw other tutorials that could, when I went back, I said, okay, if I can make a star, okay, this is also possible. I now see them as manipulating the tools and all of that. So I think first things first, a lot of designers want to start making flyers immediately. They want to start making logos that kill, killer logos. They want to start, designing like memes, in just the first day they start. And it happens to everyone everywhere. Like when you see people that is their first time in the gym, they want to carry every tool. They want to lift the dumbbell. They want to climb this one. They want to run on the, by the end of the day, you realize that you just go home with body ache.
And nothing else.
Nothing else. No research. I don't see anything. So, but over time, these guys have understood that time is a good, like time works for them. Like time works in their favor.
Yeah.
Especially when you are doing the right thing. So if your fundamentals are good, your typography is good, right? You're taking your time to, okay, how does text work? Okay, I can actually design without using colors and just with the way I put the texts.
Just on black and white.
You can manipulate, you can mix colors, make the thing. So they call it type color.
Oh,
yeah, so they call it type color. So how it basically works is the contrast on different text sizes can actually make something beautiful without any color.
Yeah.
All right.
Happens.
And if you are a person, that's where those when design was actually evolving into like a vertical movement, Bauhaus movement, all those Bodoni. So they were now using more of texts, more of text to create the entire design, and then a few shapes here and there. So I think that's actually how to start. And before you know it, use of colors become very normal to you because the success in the use of color still lies on contrast.
Yeah. So basically, just start from the basics.
Yeah, start from the basics. Like, it's going to take you 1 year to understand what contrast is.
Stay there till you get it right.
What contrast is. Yes. So I think, from the story today, I mean, there are a lot of stories, but
there's a lot of stories.
Let's take it one step at a time. We'll have a lot of catch up. You get it?
I think I get I get where you're coming from. That's why I will always say that for me, 2 things that I think makes someone a great designer is number 1, patience.
Yeah.
And number 2, consistency.
Mm-hmm.
The problem that most people have is that they want to start today and become good the next day.
Yeah.
When I started designing back in 2015, 2016-ish, I spent like 6 months, and in that 6 months, all I did was just watch tutorials.
Wow.
All I did was there's a particular website that had, I forgot the name of that website, I think photoshopstar.com. That website has so many tutorials on Photoshop design. So if you just click on the website, they will give you a bunch of tutorials. They had it categorized from photo manipulation to text. And anyone I click, they will give me step by step on how I can do that stuff. So I spent like 6 months trying to try every single tutorial in that website. I don't know if I covered everything, but I can say I covered probably 50%.
I did one that will give you money.
I did almost everything. Every day. I go to work, I come back by 8 p.m. I will stay throughout midnight so I can buy midnight data.
Yeah.
I will stay.
I think I did that.
We start from 11 p.m. and then stay awake till like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and all I did was just those tutorials. My focus then, I didn't even care about having clients. I didn't care about
Yeah.
making money from this. I just wanted to learn it.
Yes.
So that period of time, just that consistency to do it over and over and over and over again till you become perfect. I think that's what will make you a great designer.
Yeah.
That's what make you a great designer. Having that consistency.
Hmm.
Then probably to top it up is never feel like you've learned enough. Never feel like you've learned enough. There's always something new to learn. Even today, they watch tutorial.
Yeah.
Even today,
I
we
watch
all still
tutorials
watch
now.
tutorials, even when we feel
You
like we are
want to watch
professionals.
tutorial?
Now.
I paid for one course like
We still
that.
pay for course, eh? Even when you feel like you are now a
Because
you are not a pro
things are
because
happening like every day,
every day
things are
something new.
changing.
Yeah,
And I think there's something that you mentioned. You said he was not learning because he wants to make money from it. I think that's the best way to learn.
that's
You
the
know
best
why-
way to learn.
You know why we all went to secondary schools? We all went to school, right? In the first place, like kindergarten, primary
Primary
and
school,
all that.
secondary
So
school.
we are all focused. We're all learning. That point, you're not learning to make money.
Yeah.
Even if
We are
by
just
the end of
learning
the day,
to
but
you
we're
make
learning
money.
to become to scale
And go to the next
go to
level.
the next level
Exactly.
and all of that. I think that has actually become a problem today. Like when somebody is broke, it's only for a skill, to learn, right? That's not a problem. The problem is when you are learning the skill, are you patient
Enough
enough
for it.
to get through it so that you actually become what you are learning? Because when you become what you are learning, you can have what you want. So, but if
That's
you are
true.
looking for
Quick money.
quick money and all of that,
Can't do something else.
money, yeah, money on itself like puts you under some kind of pressure, like you are. But if you think about it again, if somebody consistently hope on learning because of money, what will happen is that the person's energy will keep going down, especially if he's not getting through a particular stage. So if level 1, level 2, when are we starting to make money? Level 3, when are we starting to make money?
Exactly.
Level 4, when are we starting to make money? When is this thing going to start paying? Now, this person have been without money for the past 6 years.
And he has
3
not
years.
died.
He did not die. Then he's not started learning a skill. Then he's worried about when are we going to start making money?
That's why-
When are we going to cash out?
That's why when people meet me and ask me that they want to learn from me, I usually try to understand their motive.
Yeah.
And the motive is because I want to make money. It's better to kind of start a business.
Yes.
Not that you are selling something that will give you money the next day. Because before you start becoming as good as you have to be for you to make a good source of living from this, it will take time. It took me a very long time before I made what you would call bulk money on this design. It probably was designing for like 4 years before I had my we call it big break.
Yes. Now.
Before I got a very huge contract, probably was designing for like 4 years or more. So, but we are still consistent.
Yeah.
We are still developing ourselves. We are still trying to be good as much as we can. And I think that's one thing you as a designer should just focus on it. Just focus on, bettering yourself first. And
Yeah.
by the time you get to that top, that's what
You
actually makes you a
necessarily-
good designer.
Yeah, exactly. You necessarily will not even know,
You will not know.
right?
You won't know.
when you get there.
When you get there, you won't know. Well, I feel like when it will really hit you is when someone pays you that
Yeah.
amount, and you be like, I remember when I got paid 50,000 naira for a design. I was with Madam Steph.
Yeah.
I was with Madam Steph. We were shooting at that church that our church then
Yeah.
in 2020. So someone called me for a job and he said he wanted to design a logo. I was on call and he asked me how much. I told him 15,000. I said 15.
Wow.
Then he priced me 45,000. So it was like,
And your brain.
and my brain was like,
resent.
I was like, wait, oh, now 50, like I said that this guy had 50. But somehow I had the courage to tell him, no, that's the last price. And he said, send me your account. And he paid it immediately.
Energy.
That kind of, it changed my perspective about it. I was like, if someone can pay me 50,000 for this thing that I've been charging 10k, 5k for the past 6 months, that means I'm actually worth it.
Yes.
I can comfortably scale my price now
Yes.
and not be shaking.
Yes.
So I feel like
And not be shaking.
there's there's that point where you get there, you know that I'm good.
Yeah.
But even when you feel like you're good, don't be satisfied.
Yes.
improve.
Yeah.
There's always a way to improve. There's always a place to improve. There's always medium to improve, and that's what makes you. That's what differentiates you from a good designer and a great designer.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah.
that's basically it.
There's just a lot to say, right? But I think we've shot our time. We're almost at 20 minutes.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah.
Before we round up this episode, I wanted to read
Yeah.
a few questions that we got. So I'm going to share. We're going to read out two. Basically, we're going to read out two for today. And the number one question is: do you ever battle inferiority complex, and how do you tackle inferiority complex?
Oh, inferiority complex. Okay. I think at one point or the other, I think every one of us the best of us have gone through a situation, but I don't think it's everyone. I mean, most people have gone through what we can call inferiority complex. Like, you are not good enough. That feeling that, okay, you are inferior, you are not good enough, and all of that. The first place you need to start working on, yes, is in your mind. Because I think that's where everything is happening. If you look at it, there are people that are not even as good as you are, right? But because of the courage to try, they're able to, go through that. Then number two thing, like I said, is in your mind. You must understand that trying is more important than perfecting. Try it and fail, right? You are better than somebody that haven't tried at all. And once you try and fail, you are failing forward because now you know how things work and how things don't work, right? Then when you don't try, you don't even know what works and what doesn't work. So you become like, you start, killing that feeling of inferiority when immediately you try and somehow one time you got it right. All right. It becomes almost natural to you. So your back of your mind should always tell you that there's nothing here. I'd rather fail than not try. I'd rather fail than not try. I'd rather fail than not try. If you fail, start again. And then open your mind up. You are not too special. I tell people, yeah, you are special, right? But
you're not as special as you think.
You're not too special.
You're not as special as you feel like.
Yes.
There's always someone better than you.
Exactly. So that let it go, right? Just
there's nothing wrong with being humble.
Exactly.
Just know that it's your reality.
Exactly. So you are starting out, you have, you're still not sure of where you are, and all of that. Just work on your mind. Watch what you listen to, the people you hang around with, what they say, and the people talk to. Sometimes if those people you hang around with might not even be bad people, but they are not the people that should inspire you. All right, most of them don't even inspire you. All right, the kind of conversations they have don't even have anything to do with your path. So you might be a designer and you're hanging out with maybe dancers, right? Their conversation don't inspire you, all right, and you don't feel belong in that circle, right? Or you're hanging around some toxic. I've been around toxic designers. God,
we've all been there.
And the funny thing is that they create a WhatsApp group where they share toxicity. They don't even. We'll talk about WhatsApp groups later. But I mean, everything starts with your mind. You are starting. Know where you are. Grow from there. Be empathetic. Know that. Oh wow, you are feeling this way means that somehow
you have problem.
Yeah, just know that, right? It's not the end, right?
It's always something that you can fix.
Exactly. You are not inferior. It's a complex. It's a feeling that you are.
It's a feeling that it's not like you are inferior actually. Yeah. It's a feeling that you are inferior.
Just your mind. Adjust it, and I think you are going to be fine. So what do you have to say about it?
I feel like one of the best ways to get over inferiority complex is conflicts. See, I'll be hanging around to be like bookkeeping from last. I like the top. One way to. Oh God.
So you see,
to get one of the best ways that I got over my inferiority complex is building up your confidence.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is something that you can teach someone or if it is something that just comes naturally to people. I think it comes naturally to me, but if you're confident in yourself, if you are content in yourself, I feel like you won't have any issue with inferiority complex. People don't like being content.
Yeah.
So someone that has been designing for like 4 or maybe 6 years, and maybe he cannot even afford to buy a MacBook. Then he sees another designer that's been designing for like a year or two with a MacBook. So he feels like, this boy is already better than me, and I've been doing this in longer than you. Now he starts to feel
This is
inferior.
some people's reality.
This is people's, yeah, and he starts feeling inferior to this other person. But you don't know how he got the laptop. You don't know whether it's actually design that gave him the laptop.
Yeah.
You don't know
Or
whether his parents
got
are
it.
just rich.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you are content with yourself, when you are content with the stage you are in your life, and know that it gets better, and you just eventually you work your way up. When you are content in that level that you are, you really don't feel inferior about a lot of things.
Yeah.
But being content doesn't mean you are stagnant.
Yeah.
In as much as you are content,
You're actively doing something.
you're actively doing something. You're actively improving yourself in one way or other, and it will really help boost your what will it boost? Your confidence.
Yeah.
It really boosts your confidence, and yeah, you won't really have
This
to
part
face
now you put on earlier booster.
you really have to boost your confidence, and and you won't really have to face that much inferiority complex.
Yeah, I think talking about confidence, right? I think the Holy Book says that do not throw away your confidence as your reward. Do you know that a lot of people, this is a very serious issue, like, right? People battle with like self-confidence, and I'll not even downplay it because a lot of people, right? Like their ground is their body is literally shaking, right? But I think we're going to leave them with with what you said.
Yeah,
To build it, it's not going to come from the outside.
it's going to come from you.
It's still going to come from you. So make up your mind that you are good, but you are not yet refined, right? And you're actively working hard to refine your skill, to refine and try. Like I always say, trying makes you confident, right?
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen,
Yes.
right?
The ones that can help is you fail.
You fail.
You try again.
And you did not die, right? So you try again, and once you succeed the first time, right? I wasn't like the best student. I wasn't like a smart student. I wasn't. See, but I was good at the point. I was my result was going up and down, right? But I realized that whenever I pass, right, I get something like pass. There's just this unexplainable inner feeling of I can do more.
Yes.
I can stay on this thing. Wow, so this thing work, hard work really pays, right? Then I
That's
stayed
the
there,
same
I
thing with real life.
doubled up. Yes, I doubled up again, I go again. So people see hard work as a chore, like as something that
It's stressful.
Stressful
So
and all of
everybody
that.
wants it easy.
there's no other way. Like, funny, sorry to refer to some of our folks that are, making money from, defrauding people, right? But they cannot be as confident as, to stand in front of kings, stand in front of business leaders. Do you understand? Because the direction at which they do their thing is not.
They will not
It's
understand that way.
malpractice, right?
Yeah, it's my practice.
It's malpractice.
They're not going to the actual route.
Yes, it's malpractice. And if like you go to the exam hall and they give you, bullets to write, you get malpractice. So you to get through, the exams, to pass and all of that. It's not the same if they bring you for the oral interview or okay, come and tell us more about
This thing that you just did.
you. This you just got now. You got
You-
A1, right? Come and tell us like
Come and
answer one or
explain
two
your
questions, and all of that. You are scared and all of that, and it comes
That
with shame.
It comes with shame. And that confidence I feel like it builds up. It drops immediately.
It drops immediately.
Immediately.
You get so it's hard work. You try.
You try. Pride yourself in hard. There is nothing wrong with hard work.
Try.
Pride yourself in hard work. It boosts your confidence.
Yeah.
It reduces your influence complex. So
Yeah.
as much as you can, just work hard.
Yeah.
Let's talk one more question. So this person asked, what has been your best year since you started freelancing as a graphic designer? What has been your best year, and what happened that year? That not your
Okay.
best year.
All right. You should answer this one.
I think my best year was 2021. beginning of 2021. Okay, 2021, the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very good year. I think I had what I would say is my big break that year. I got one of the biggest contracts then that year, and it was also the year I started. I started really posting contents back to back on my social media channels, and it was the year that TikTok was really on fire. So, because after lockdown, TikTok really blew up during
Yeah.
lockdown.
Yeah.
Then after lockdown was 2021, so it was still coming up and it was hot.
Mm.
So my page blew up on TikTok, then carried the traction over to my Instagram. So
Mm.
I started getting a lot more clients that was the first time I started getting clients actively on social media. Prior to 2021, most of my 98% of my clients from prior to 2021 was word of mouth. So from referrals from people. Even it was mostly from referrals from people. So 2021 was when I had a shift from the way my clients come in, and about maybe 70-80% started coming from social media, from TikTok, from Instagram. And then so it was a very good year for me. It really it made me realize that there is a lot more channels on how I can attract much people to me than just word of mouth. And
Yeah.
so I think that was a big shift for me. So 2021 was a great year.
Yeah. So I think after designing for how many years? After designing for how many years? So for me, right? I've had big breaks, Sha. God, I beg.
A big boy.
but I can't remember the particular year, but I think maybe around that kind of 2020, yeah. I think during the COVID, I think that COVID was a very nice time, and I normally tell people that when there is depression, like when there's economic depression, is when you should actually, it's supposed to depress you, but you're supposed to go against the tide, right? That period, and we were able to do some things independently, interact with more people across the world and all of that. So I think yeah, that's basically it. And God is still helping us, still understand.
Yeah.
So we can get to the level where our chiefs,
Anyways, I hope this episode has been super fun for us, because this is the first episode of this podcast, and we hope in subsequent episodes we have a whole lot more to discuss with you, and a whole lot more to get out there. And it was nice having you. It was nice of you to join us today. So until the next one, thank you. Peace.